Alright, reefers. Different kind of video today. So, I don't know if everybody ever done this, right? Normally, I fill up my ATO reservoir with 0 TDS water, call it a day. And in the back of my head, I was filling up my 5-gallon bucket with RODI water. And I was refilling the reservoir because it was low. And in the back of my head, I'm like, why didn't I check the TDS of my reservoir water? It should read 0. Turns out it was actually just reading 1. So I went on Facebook, got some advice, and apparently it's like dust. So myself being the genius, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It could be dust. I'm sitting there rubbing the entire tank now, and the entire tank was filled with dust. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Took my TDS meter. RO water ended up reading 13. I had just filled this thing. And so I emptied out all the water, and then I had to redo this. So now it's reading back 0. So get a cover or get a container to avoid the dust settling in here and then reading 1, and then you be like me and then rub it and then make 13 TDS and then have to change brand new water and refill brand new water. So that was the event for today right now. Alright guys, it's a new day and it's been a couple of weeks since I've actually made a video, but I ended up picking up a few little things. I got now I have a magnetic fish clip, and then I bought from a local fish guy a flipper, paid like $10 for it or something like that. So new things. I have a couple of new fish. We have ourselves this little guy is a pink spot goby. Really fun. He's a big character. I picked up this CORALS, and I pulled the trigger. I know, the infamous copperband butterfly, hard to keep. This guy, when I went to the fish store, because I'm an impatient person, he just got into the store, like literally like 2 hours ago when I saw him. And I was telling the fish store, like, let me get him, because he was like, oh, he just got in, he's not eating, so they're kind of reluctant to give him to me. I was like, look, I understand the whole thing with them eating and not eating, but I took him home and he is eating mysis and brine. So that's for him. He was a little skittish at first, but you know, he's coming out. And actually, now that I'm looking at him, I see like on the top of his, I don't know if anybody sees that. Yeah, look, like he got bruised or so. So I have to keep an eye on him to see where that came from, if there's, oh, if anybody is messing with him. And the reason why I ended up getting the copperband, the wrasse was with the copperband, so I was like, he's used to being with the wrasse, and I figure if I get them both, you know, he'll feel a little bit more comfortable, because Dory's being a punk now. If Dory starts being, she's gonna have to go. But I figure since the cleaner wrasse and the copperband were in the same container at the fish store, I was like, all right, let me get them both, because they would, you know, kind of get along with each other. And then the fact that since I have the long nose butterfly, maybe the long nose does protect the little guy. Anytime they're next to each other, anybody that gets next to him, they'll tend to flare up his spikes. So my thing was, he would teach him to eat, or see that he's eating and would make him want to eat as well, which has happened. So now he's eating mysis and brine. I try to put pellets in there now, so that way he can try to get used to pellets, because I don't feed the same thing every day. But so far that's about it for the tank. I am looking to buy my first set of corals, so watch out for that. So once I start speaking with my, local reef guys around the area, I'm gonna test my tank out with a couple of torches and hammers, and I'm going to start with corals now. So I'm so super excited for that. It'll give the tank, much needed color. And now that when I kind of take a look back from the tank, you know, I feel like with the extra added fish now, there's like more movement in the tank. Like it's like filled. So I think I'm pretty much done with buying fish. I would love a purple tang, but if any other fish I may end up getting is probably a little dragonet, for the floor. Um, that's about it. I think this is enough fish for this tank. I don't want to overload the biosystem and cause any problems. But yeah, stay tuned, and we'll see when we start getting the corals. Alright, Rafe, it's a new morning, and unfortunately, I think I've been watching my copperband butterfly for the last few days, right? And I didn't want to film it just in case YouTube has a problem with it, but it looks like my copperband had something called Euroma, or I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but it looks like a parasite disease, which, based on my reading, it comes from chromuses or anthias. It's like something like that. But if I look at my anthias, my chromis, sometimes I think I see a spot on one of them. So I think maybe that's where they have that parasite going on. So unfortunately, I had him, and he was doing so well. He was eating everything now, and it didn't take me long. So my first copperband, I'm so sad, but I know better now. Maybe I won't get another one for a while until maybe either I get rid of well, actually, based on my reading, this parasite just lives in the water, and the only way to kind of technically get rid of it is if I scrap the whole tank, bleach it, and that's basically the only 100% way I can get rid of it. If you guys haven't noticed, the lights are just turning on, so nothing's filtering. But I got my two hammers, and my little friend is out. So that's going on right now. Any other updates, and I'll let everybody know. But unfortunately, the copperband that I had for like a week passed from a parasite disease. Again, I didn't know that chromuses and anthias kind of carry the strain, which is weird because it said it affects more like butterflies, but more long nose. I guess because long nose are more resilient, not affected, and they've been in the tank longer. So now it's deciding not to know what to do. All right. Yeah, with the two corals that I had just got, I ended up getting that frog spawn. The lights are just now starting to come on. It's 9:30. They've been ramping up since about 8:30. And that is another hammer there. Let me see if I can get any color out of it with the lights. I don't have a coral lens, so I have to use kind of go old school and see. Oh yeah, the lights are not on, so you really can't see any of the colors yet. But when the lights are on, that frog spawn opens up so beautiful. It's like very happy in here. But I think in terms of with the copperband, I probably just assume Euroma. I really don't know, but maybe it could be the stress, or I don't know. But all the other tank inhabitants are fine. It's just very sad. I really enjoyed that copperband, even though if I only had it for a week, it was like I don't know how to say it, right? I guess I was 2 for 2 because I got my long nose butterfly eating, and then I was able to get my copper band butterfly eating, and it was like, yes, I was 2 for 2. You know, I was gonna keep him for a while. He was gonna live happy, and all of a sudden, within a few days, I just started seeing on the top of its head that rash, and then sometimes I catch him on the rocks just swimming like straight onto the rocks, like he's rubbing it. So I thought maybe it was just, I don't know, he got picked on at first, but then everything was fine. But then when I started seeing him like swimming fast into the rocks like to scratch himself, I was like, all right, I noticed that. And then I started looking on, reef to reef forums. I'm seeing pictures, and I'm like, maybe it is that parasite, I don't know. Or it could be just, I don't know. That's what I think. I could be completely wrong on it. But I wouldn't know unless I see what's going on. These the anthiuses. I mean, why do I get these guys confused? Oh, look, he's up on the water column. And I also got this little coral. I forgot what the name of it is. I got it from a local reefer. It's not an SPS. I think it's more of a softie, but it opened up nicely. He gave it to me as a freebie when I had bought those two. But yes, if that's about it for now. So anything else that happens on the tank, like I said, I'm going to let everybody know what's going on. I'm not hiding anything. Because, like I said, this is a journey. I am still learning, and I'm going to make these mistakes. And unfortunately, I don't want to make the mistakes, but, you don't learn unless you make the mistakes. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see everybody on the next video. Take care.